Good evening and welcome to another stream. Good evening and welcome to This is going to be a Barren Planet stream, like I suggested last week. The only thing that is different to what I suggested is that the stream is going to be for Polar Expedition rather than First Landing, because when I looked through my streams from last summer, I found I'd already done a full stream of First Landing. Bear with me while I get start of stream things going. I noticed that there's no image for some reason, so allow me to sort that out. There we are. For some reason the image just disappears for no reason, and I have to bring it back again. So here we've got the title screen for Barren Planet. I've already selected Polar Expedition. I'm going to play Nuvutech and let the computer take Avuscorp. So, also, in case you're wondering, it's a no-cam stream today because I'm not feeling or looking my best, so I thought I'd keep the camera off and have this cute little avatar up there instead. So let's start. Let me just try and arrange the chat so I can see it. I've got big windows covering over each other on the screen because my vision's not the best today, so I need to wiggle things about so I can see the chat as well as play the game and see the OBS output. So here we go, let's start the game. And the computer's going first. So we've got the briefing, which I think I've gone this far. I've gone through the first battle before in Polar Expedition, but I'll read it anyway because that was about 6 months ago. So thank you, Commander, for returning to Dapra so quickly. Having previously taken control of the planet and beaten off Avuscorp's attempts to do the same, we are expanding our operations into the untapped ice caps of the polar region. We're about to establish mining stations at the ice plain of Samos. The Avuscorp have returned to the planet and are attempting a landing. You must destroy the Avuscorp forces and, if possible, establish the mining stations at the crystal nodes. So this is meant to be a follow-up to the First Landing campaign, which is why it says about having previously taken control of the planets. And yeah, it didn't mention ice caps in the earlier descriptions of Dapra from the first campaign, but I thought if Mars can have ice caps, it's a very Martian environment in the first campaign, and since Mars has ice caps, so can Dapra have ice caps as well, and here they are, just to give a change of scenery. So this is the first battlefield, and we've got some units not familiar from First Landing. We've got this weird thing with the crane, and the enemy's got one as well. Other than that, all we can see is hoverbugs. So the crane thing is our constructor, and unlike the constructor in the First Landing, the mining base, this thing doesn't mine, it just creates any other unit that you can. So let's see what the computer did. Report's ready to replay. I've not played this for months, so I'm getting used to the game loop. That's interesting. It's occupied the crystal node. I haven't seen it do that before, and that's not exactly a good strategy. Although it does, I know that the game works and it does do sensible things. More sensible is, oops, no, I can't build here. I'm not going to build here. But while I've accidentally brought up the build menu, you can see that in this battle you can only build two things: the hoverbug, which is the same as a hoverbug in First Landing, and a mining station. So I'll cancel the build and then I'll move. And I don't have the action points to build at the moment, I don't think, but I'll try anyway. Yeah, I cannot build that unit because we don't have the action points. So, I keep putting my mouse cursor in the way. We've got crystal nodes here and here, and we've got the one here, which is the obvious one to build on, which we'll do next turn. So I think what these hoverbugs need to do, to start with, is to try and make a beeline for these crystal nodes and try and get a mining station built on at least one of them if we can. But in the meantime, we can destroy Avuscorp's mining stations if they manage to build one there. So we've got 6 hoverbugs, and that's the end of that turn. And then let's see what the computer does. Right, I think I am using a buggy version of... Oh, hi Martine! Nice to see you. I think I'm using a buggy version of this software because that computer is obviously having trouble in building a mining station, because all it needs to do, and it has done this before, is do this. So I think what I'm going to do is exit the game. Actually, I won't exit the game for the time being. I'll have to exit the game because I think it's going to take the display away when I go to another virtual screen. And what I'm going to try and do is grab the earlier version, which I know works. Now this is version 1.0.2, which should work. So let's have a look at my dev directory, and I have, I should have Polar Expedition, yeah. So let's have a look at Polar Expedition, Barren Planet version. You can't see the typing I'm doing here. It's all in my Linux console window. So oh, that's interesting. That's the initial version of Barren Planet from 2023. I hope this isn't going to be an abandoned attempt to run this, because it's going to be a real walkover if I can't get the computer making units. Let's pull the stuff, and what I'm going to do is quickly go and compile the DOS version. Yeah, it looks like I might have to play First Landing instead, because it looks like this is not going to work. Let me just give it another go. See if I can do this in a reasonable amount of time. Yeah, this is the original version, which I know has a bug. That's weird. Let me do a directory of this. Yeah, that's the January 2024 version. So yeah, it looks like I'm not playing Polar Expedition, I'm playing First Landing. But we can give Polar Edition a try. We'll walk over the first battle, and then see how this goes. See if the computer finally gets its building in order. Just expand all these, not expand, advance, that's the word I was looking for. So advance all these hoverbugs. And while I am at it, oh no, we've got no movement points left on this, so let's enter, oops, don't turn, that's right. Let's see what the computer does. I'm too used to StarCard where it just goes through the computer movement and returns you back to your own turn. Yeah, that's just going to dance around there. Oh, it has created? No, it hasn't created a little hoverbug. It has sent 5 forward and kept 1 back to guard, which is what it should do. So that much is fine. I'm just worried that it's not creating any mining bases. But I'll carry on with my original plan. And I think what I'll do is, if these hover tanks down here aim for these, then I'll break off some hover tanks from up here and tackle them. But I shall also, I won't advance this yet. I will build a hoverbug there, because we need to defend this. I've got a feeling that it might send most of these to get that new mining base. Yeah, I definitely recommend it to play. It's of all the ones that I've built, I'd say it's my second favourite. My favourite is StarCarder. That's mainly because StarCarder is procedurally generated. So I get more fun out of that, because at this I know what all the battles are. At least I do if I've played it more recently than like 5 months ago. I know what the battles are, so I know what to expect, whereas when I play StarCarder I don't. But if it wasn't for that, I would say this is the stronger game, because this is the one with the most content. And these are also handcrafted. This is handcrafted content as well. So I'm going to send 2 of these back to tackle these, and I shall also send some of these back. Whoops, no, that's not what I meant to do. You can... Actually, we'll pile on this unit here with a hope of taking it out. Yes. Did I just use this? Yes, I did. So I'm going to accept that this is actually going to be a very easy game if the computer's not going to be... No, I didn't mean to do that. It wasn't exit game that I wanted to do. I wanted to end turn. I'm using too much muscle memory from playing StarCarder. I look for that letter E, which is normally end turn in StarCarder. Right, so they're just completely ignoring me and going straight for that mining base. I don't know what the constructor is doing. It's given up on creating a mining base, probably because it's created too many of these hoverbugs now. I am going to concentrate on this. Yes, that's dead. That was the wrong thing to do, because I now can't get this in. Oops, I can't get this into position. I can get it into position, but I can't fire now because I've used up all my movement points. So I'm going to have to adopt desperate measures. Move this back. And then this. Because I don't want anything to be within range of the mining station. There we are, so that's worked. So you can get in the way of there, and you can also shoot at that one. So we we haven't managed to destroy that. This one... This one can start to threaten this constructor. I don't think the constructor is going to be very useful if it's run out of resource points for building another mining station. I think it's just a sitting duck. I can't build a mining station here, but... You see, without a mining station, the Avuscorp units are not getting any resources. I'm getting 2 resources a turn, which means if I can hold them off for long enough, I can build another mining base there, or there. Or I can just keep building these hoverbugs every 4 turns to keep up with their production. Because also he's going to run out of... They're going to run out of resource points altogether once they've built enough of these hoverbugs, which I think they might have done already, actually. Once they run out of resources, they can't build a mining station, they can't build any more hoverbugs, and I just have a war of attrition between them down. Right, yeah, still ignoring me. They're really going for that mining station. Yeah, I truly think that they've run out of resource points, because otherwise they would have at least built something by now, another hoverbug. So, what do I move? I think I will start by moving this up there. Now, if I leave it there, then this can ignore me next turn and go there, there, and fire at that. But if I move this up there and build a wall, it can't hit my mining station, although it means that this unit will not have enough movement points left to hit back. So let's do that anyway, because this can go there and hit, and I'll concentrate on that one as much as I can to reduce its hit points. Here I'll do the same thing, move back, hit you. I think I'll get in their way even more actually by doing this. Get another hit on there, and then they have to go backwards to avoid all this that I'm building up. This can move laterally, and that leaves these 2 units to take on this hoverbug. And I notice he's no longer defending this constructor. Oh, it had movement points left to fire back at me. Oh, and I'm reduced to 1 point, so I might get destroyed next turn. But that matters not, because I still have the resources to build another hoverbug, which I'll build there. Right, let's go done turn. See if I do lose that hoverbug. Yep, they're just still trying to ignore me and move around. The constructor didn't fire back at me. It's too intent on moving here. So, I mean, the AI in this game, it was never the best, but it's currently not actually working as it should. So, we'll block the path of these units. And this. I've got this one approaching, so this one should go there. Now let me calculate, can this one hit the mining base? It can't hit the mining base, but it can go around there and sit next to it, or it can go around there and sit next to it. So I can't block the way. I could move this back, which creates a wall there, but this unit will just go around that way. So I can't stop it planting itself next to my mining base next turn. What I can do is I can bring this down here and get an extra hit on it. I was hoping I'd destroy him, but that's not going to happen. Right, this can go up here, I think. And this is ready to swoop down on that constructor, because it's a bit too risky to fire at it with this. This one can come back for repair, which is another job that the constructor can do. We didn't see it move, but I assume it moved. Yes, it did. And I think that leaves us 1 unit left with movement points. Yes, and that can come down and have one last attempt to finish this off, and failed. Done turn. Yes. Let's see what happens this time. Yeah, they did what I predicted they would do, although I hadn't predicted that they would all manage to swarm the mining base like that. That was a surprise to me. So I think what I'm going to do is move the constructor out of the way. And then it's time to once again swarm this. That's me. There we go. Right, that leaves me. Oh, I'll move my mouse pointer out of the way. That leaves me 2 to have a go at this and 3 to have a go at that one. That's probably not going to help that much, but we'll give it a try. Now we can return, because the mining station itself can fire. So if I manage to destroy this, yes, then I can concentrate all the fire on that, and then finally the mining base can attack as well. It's got an attack of 2, which I think is the same as the hoverbugs. There we go. And this is my injured hoverbug. Now I will use that to fire actually, but I'll fire second, just in case the constructor can return fire, which it couldn't. Yeah, I'm not too bothered about losing that now, because it's all of this against that one constructor. I don't know why it's trying to occupy these crystal nodes. Possibly because that's the only unit it's got left. But yeah, it's pretty weird. I wasn't expecting to have to go back to the source code on this game after all this time, but it looks like that's on the cards. There we go, I've won that battle, which wasn't beyond the realms of prediction, given that it's not building units. But so thank you, Commander. The board knew it could rely on you to maintain the cohesion of our interests on Dapra. We're now developing the area that you've just secured at the ice plains of Sanos with further infrastructure. However, the board were apprehensive that Avuscorp might make further incursions upon our business activities there. They've asked, therefore, that you remain in the area in case of further trouble and stand by for further instructions. So I'm going to persevere with this and see how things go. So I have, on this side, I've got this mining station, I've got 2 constructors, I've got mining stations already set up there, but the enemy over here have all of these combat droids and 1 constructor. So I currently have no defences. Oh, excuse me. I'm drinking tea while I play this. With all those forces there and me currently having none, I imagine that I will lose these 2 mining stations. But they're going to bring in, for the first few turns, they're going to bring in quite a bit of resources to allow me to build up whatever I decide to build. And it could be building up defences for protecting at least one of these. So let's see what happens. Did I read that? No, I don't think I did. Greetings, Commander. We've begun to build up the infrastructure at Sanus, clearing roads and erecting buildings at the site, and we've set up 3 mining stations. Avuscorp, however, have reappeared on the horizon and appear intent on taking or destroying the sites. Our mining stations are in immediate danger from the Avuscorp raid. You must defend the site either by securing all the crystal positions or by destroying all the Avuscorp units. Good luck. Right, so we have 3 of the positions, but there's also 1 across there. So if we could defend these 2 positions, we could secure the area just by sending a fast unit across the map, hoping that Avuscorp doesn't try to thwart that. So let's proceed on here and let's see what it lets us build in this battle by trying to build. Right, so we can build those combat droids, which are again the same as the combat droids in First Landing. So they're reasonably strong in hit points compared to the hoverbug, but they're very slow. The advantage of them in this campaign is that they can occupy buildings and they get a lot of protection from buildings, whereas hoverbugs can't occupy buildings. And then we've got the mining station again. So I don't think the mining station is that useful in this campaign, because if we build an expensive mining station on there, assuming that we've still got the ones over here, then we've automatically won. And it would be pointless spending 32 points building the mining station when we could just build, say, a hoverbug on there for 8 points and win. But when I was designing this, I didn't think of that, and even now I don't see fit to take away a unit that I've already let you build. Now these have 4 movement points. They could only move 2 in the last scenario because snow takes 2 movement points, but the road doesn't. The road only takes 1, which we can see by doing this. You can see the movement icon over there. It takes only 1 point, whereas if we look at, say, the snow, that takes 2 movement points, and the building should say nothing. We can't move there at all. So I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to build hoverbugs with both of these. The beauty of having 2 of these units is that I can build 2 things at a time. My plan is I'll send both the hoverbugs to this closer mining station, and I will just kind of abandon that one because I can't build enough units to defend both. Not in the time it'll take those combat droids to get there. So let's done turn. Yeah, it's still not building units. I think what I'll do, halfway through the stream, I'll have an intermission and I'll compile. This is the latest version of the game, I think. So I'll recompile version 1.01, which did work properly. So first things first, move this unit there. The pathfinding for the player units is not as intelligent as the pathfinding for the computer units. I can only build one unit this time. So I think what I'll do is I'll move one of these. I'll build with this one. I'll build a combat droid which can occupy the building. And then I'll move this around it, and it should be able to move. Should be able to move up there. Yes. And then my plan is that I can build a combat droid with this one next turn. Let me just see, pay proper attention to where this slot is moving. These all appear to be moving for that one, which makes sense. So let's see. Yeah, they're all moving down that way. This one's guarding. So we'll send these forward to defend this. It's going to be 1, 2, 3 turns before the enemy gets in range, and when they do, they will have the first shot. I'll be able to return fire. Right, so I've got 12, and I'm going to build another one of these. This will play. Oops, no, I don't want to build anything. I couldn't afford it if I did want to do it. It's just a little interface thing. It's not exactly a bug. It's something that I have to put up with, in that when you highlight a position next to a builder, the default action is build, which is what you usually want, but in this case, or in that case, I wanted to move. I think I will move this over here. That means it can build these units in the buildings, and I think because the enemy is moving down this way, I think I'll move my troops into these buildings first. Now they may pivot once they've taken this site and move up to that one, which is highly probable, but in that case I'll have room to move the combat droids up or down to where they're needed. Right, can you move yet? No, because you've only just been created this turn. Done turn, that's what I'm looking for. Oh, it's building now. It's not building a combat droid. Well, it was building in the last battle, wasn't it? It built a bunch of hoverbugs before it ran out of money. The proper tactics for that side would have been to build one mining station on this crystal node, and then start building combat droids. But for some reason, it seems to be a bit blind to that possibility. It may be that I'm using the version of Barren Planet that I developed a water world. With each iteration, each new DLC, I found the odd bug and released a new version of Barren Planet. And it may well be that the Barren Planet I released for Waterworld does not play well in Polar Expedition. Although I would have thought that I'd have tested this at the time, but perhaps I didn't. So anyway, it is what it is. So report's finished. First thing I'll do is defend this. This isn't really a good defensive formation, because even when I do get that there, because when these units decide to come up this way, they can occupy the diagonals there and still hit the mining station. I've still got 10 points, so I think what I'll do is build a combat droid straight in there, and then this one can come up and join you. And this, I think the pathfinding should be intelligent enough to go around that way, yes. So one more turn before they actually hit us. Oh, they're going upwards to that one, so they've split their forces. So I think what I need to do is take a proper defensive position around this. I have, yeah, 8 points, just enough to build another one of these here. And this unit can't produce anything now, but it's not a good idea to move it up there because it'll be vulnerable. I think what I'll do is move it back here. Oops, let's actually select it and move it back here. And then it's in a position to produce units for either side of the battlefield. One thing I forgot to do in Barren Planet is I forgot to create shortcut keys. I did that in StarCarder. Oh, interesting. Okay, it is firing at that. And I did get to fire back. But that mining station doesn't have much of a chance. Let's see what hit points it's got back. Yeah, it's only got 2 left. Yeah, I was very careful to try and give each option a unique first letter. My intention was that I'd create shortcut keys to prevent having to use the menu. Once you get used to the shortcut keys, you can use move, attack. And that would have got around that thing where I keep pressing build by mistake. But by the time I got to the end of the project, I forgot to go back and put the shortcut keys in. And I haven't done it with the DLC because the only changes I've made with the DLC releases was just to fix any bugs that occurred. So first thing this one's going to do is make a valiant attempt at its own defence. And I think that was the unit we shot at last time. So there's a chance that we may have damaged it enough to get another attack in. Right, we haven't killed it, and we're probably going to die next turn. But hopefully, if I remember this combat droid, which sadly I don't identify them individually like the units in StarCarder, but if I can keep track of where that combat droid goes, I know that that one's probably been weakened. Right, so these can go for you. These 2 can go for you. And just for safety, actually I don't need to move that back yet for safety because I was going to say I don't need to move that back for safety because these units are not going to get to this. I think if I just check with my own combat droids, I think it takes 2 movement points to move over that terrain. Yes, it does with a combat droid. And combat droids only have 2 units, so the furthest this can go next turn is there. And the furthest this one can go next turn is there. So actually, yes, I will save this there because next turn I can build one of these there, a hoverbug there, and still be safe from these foremost combat droids. So I'm not building anything. I don't think this one needs to be moved forward. So I think that's everything done. Let me know if the sound isn't up to standard as well, because I've been fiddling with my sound each stream recently. People were telling me that I was peaking. So I switched the volume down, and then the last couple of streams, when I listened to them back, I could barely hear myself. Although I am deaf, so I don't know how others could hear me. But people definitely weren't watching the streams much last time, so I think maybe people popped in and found that I was almost silent and drifted off. Which, to be honest, I do if I visit a streamer and I can't hear what they're saying. So yeah, I've actually found I've changed microphones this time, and I've done a couple of recordings to test the volume levels, and I was neither peaking nor whispering, so I should be okay this time. Although my keyboard is also very loud, and the microphone is near the keyboard, this new microphone, so hopefully that's not oppressively loud. Alright, let's see what the computer did. Right, the retreating units are almost certainly damaged. Okay, I don't know what that constructor's playing at, because it should have enough points to build at least another combat droid. Or maybe it doesn't. Right, so I've got units coming at me to the south. I'm already fully engaged to the north, and I've just lost that third mining station. So my response, let's see what I've got damaged. Right, that is damaged. These are not damaged. Nobody has snuck past me there. So I need to maintain a defense around this mining station. So I think what I'll do is I'll send this around there for repair, but I'll reconfigure these That's good. Now, sadly, this can't get around there. They can actually occupy that space next turn. So, and I can't stop them. So I need to make a concerted effort next turn to gather enough units around here, healthy units, that I can hopefully take out any unit that occupies that spot. And instead of building something new this turn, I will repair this. And I've got one movement point left, so I shall return it to the fray. And this can stay there because my plan is next turn, hopefully building another combat droid. Now, when this combat droid goes over there, I think what I should do is block the road. If I build another combat droid, block this road. But not without abandoning this building. Because I think that they might try to sneak past me and get that. Excuse me. So I think that's everything moved that's going to move. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah. That looks like it's engaging, but it might not be. That combat droid to the south, it may just be ready to whip around the side of that building. So you two will have a go at you. And hopefully, if they've injured that combat droid enough, the combat droid will just retreat. You will do what I intended and build another combat droid in that building. I'm going to start by firing with the mining station. Okay, that wasn't a success. I need to keep these here to stop these two coming around that side. But I shall take both of them and fire at this. And I forgot to do what I planned to do before, which was to keep track of that unit that got damaged down at this side. It makes me regret not giving these units individual identifications. Would have been easy enough for me to just stick a number on each one of them. You know, call it like Hoverbug 1. That was my original plan. I'd automatically call them Hoverbug 1, 2, 3, 4 as you were building more Hoverbugs. Right, so I've done the movement with those. That's only just been created. I wonder if I should retrieve this. Not yet. Actually, there is no reason not to retreat just by one square. Just to make sure, just in case. I mean, it's not inconceivable that one of these gets destroyed and then one of these combat droids comes this way. Yep, that combat droid tried to just sneak past. Yep, and you tried to destroy that. Let's see. Well, okay, you've got 3 points left, so that's not too bad. Right, my next trick is to move you up there and fire at that. You haven't fired yet, so you can go there. I want to keep firing at this combat droid, although the combat droid is on a ridge, so the combat droid is well defended. But if I'm lucky, I can still create some damage. So you two can fire at you. That's got rid of that threat. And again, because the computer hasn't built a mining station, this means that the computer is losing resources and possibly has lost all the resources already. And I'm still getting them, even though it's only at the rate of 2 per turn. Right, we've got a unit threatening this mining station here. So the first thing to do is, mining station defends itself. It's still 3 out of 4 points, which isn't bad. That threat is dealt with. So, and that threat is dealt with. Right, all threats to this, well, all the immediate threats to this northern mining station are dealt with, which means the remaining units can concentrate on defending against this southern threat. Now I think I'll do that. Given that they're faster than the combat droids, I can afford to harass this unit down here. That one's probably going to stay there for now, so it's not an immediate threat. And these two can go there. And I think I was stupid. What I should have done, let me just check the movement cost. Yeah, it only costs them 1 movement to move through a building, so what I should have done is shuffle these 3 down 1, and then they could have all fired at there. As it is, this one's going to have to come out here, fire at you, which was a good call. But it's messed me up now because... Oh, no, it hasn't messed me up. I've got 10 resource points. I can go like this and fill the building there. So next turn, these two can shuffle down. This one can go back into the building. And then I'm blocking the quick way around, although they can still go around this way. But it's a longer route for them. I might have to start thinking about occupying this building if too many of them can get past this blockage though. Because once even enemy units, if an enemy unit gets ensconced in that building there, then there'll be a pain to shift. And let me just check. Yeah, I've moved all of these. These have already done their fire. Oh, this one has points left this turn. So that one can come down this way and be ready to fall on these. Or even the constructor. Well, the constructor is of limited utility. This constructor here, let me see what it's got 2 attack points, which is the same as as most of the other units on here. I think everything on here has got 2 attack points. But the only reason you wouldn't normally use a constructor to attack is you want to keep it safe away from the danger. Once all your constructors are gone, it doesn't matter how many minerals you're mining because you can't build anything or repair anything. So yeah, this is the campaign where you've got 2 different unit types that you have to defend, and if you lose all of one or the other, you can no longer make things. Right, they're ignoring all my hoverbugs and moving to the south. I will do what I planned and move these there. That way they either have to go to the north, which I'm about to block off, or the south, which I've made more difficult than it was. So I think what I'll do is I'll concentrate on this foremost unit here. There we are, that's done the job. So the danger was that that unit goes in there and then they're going to be a bit of a pain to block and they'll be quite near to these constructors. So next turn I'll be able to build another unit, and it'll depend what the computer does as to whether I build a combat droid in this building or I build another hoverbug that can go more quickly around the map. They may even decide to pivot up to this. Let's see what they do. Yes, it looks like that combat droid is trying to pivot up to the mining station, and they've just built a hoverbug up there which can get to the mining station a lot more quickly. And this mining station can also get around my blockade of combat droids a lot more quickly. So let's see what I do with this. Right, I need to do something about one or both of these units. So I'm going to move these up there. It's pointless moving that up there because it can't fire. I shall move it there. And there's nothing stopping that from going around here and moving up there. So once again, I think what I'll do is I will use this unit to defend itself. Well, I've got this one up here. There, that stops that one getting too close to the mining station. So the closest that this hoverbug can get next turn is there or there, and then I can cluster these around it. Right, the question is, do I move all of this lot out here and attack that? I think I do, along with building another combat droid. I don't think I need another hoverbug at the moment. Let me just check the combat droids. Combat readiness, they're fine. they're all fine, so nothing needs repair. It would have been more efficient to repair than build new. So let's move all these out here. Luckily, hoverbugs can't move into the building, but this hoverbug can easily move around my blockade. So my plan, move that down there and build another one there. So done turn, yeah. Yeah, they've just ignored me and moved right around there. And they've still got... Shit that they didn't sneakily build a... No, they didn't build a mining station, so they've still got the resource points that they started with. I mean, not all of them, obviously, but they've still got some left. So... next thing to do is up here. I don't have the resources to build anything else this turn. I think what I'll do is I'll just coalesce these around here. Continue to make it difficult for this hoverbug to get near that mining station. But on this turn, I will retreat these units. Okay, that should go the correct way around there. Right, where can this get to? This can actually attack that next turn. So I think what I'm going to do is move this combat droid bang in the way of that road to block the way. Hoverbugs can't go through buildings, so that has helped. Then this one can go into that building, ready to attack this when it tries to go round. Right, it's pointless putting units there and there currently, because this isn't going to be anywhere near. So I think what I'll do is that one will stay there because I don't want it going around that way. This will go down here and attack. You will go and you'll attack. That's good, right? Attack to that one. That means that you can go up there into that building, just in case that does decide to change direction and go for these. I do notice I've got all this down here, but I can deal with that when it comes to it. Let's just make sure that everything that has fired can fire. Or rather the other way around, everything that can fire has fired. Done turn. I think we nearly won this one. I keep forgetting that it makes me hit fire. Right, so you moved up there next to that mining station. Well, the first thing that mining station is going to do is hit you. And then everything around here is going to surround this unit, aiming to prevent it getting a hit on that mining station. There we are, that's worked. Now, I've got a choice. Do I move this down there and attack this? Or do I start hitting the constructor? I think what I'll do is I'll move these forward to hit that. Now that can go there, there and there next turn if it wants to ignore me. So I believe what I'll do is I'll move this. It can also go there, there and there. So to prevent either of those moves being effective, I will do this. That way I've got a unit there ready to hit it if it goes up that way. I've got a unit ready to hit it if it goes down that way. And I've just remembered I've got points left. Because I'm building up 4 points a turn at the moment. I've got 2 mining stations. So each of those is mining 2 points from the ground each turn. Now, this battle hasn't been that much of a challenge with the computer not moving units, but it also hasn't been easy. I've not been able to steamroller the enemy. Oh, that's interesting. It drew the hoverbug back to attack the mining station up there at the top. I forgot to expect that. But I shouldn't have forgotten to expect that, because I know how the game is supposed to work. And I know which bits of it are currently working like they should. So I'll do the same trick as I did last time. We'll just throw everything at this. Right. This one's still got 3 points, and it does have, and it's got no armour. So that hoverbug cannot destroy it in the next turn, but it might reduce it to 1 hit point. So is there anything I want to do with this crowd down here? Yeah, nobody can hit that because it takes them 2 movement points to get up there, although I'll do so anyway, because if that sits there and takes another shot at that, then next turn I can hit it with the combat droid. And the other combat droids, for the time being, can move back this way, I think. Do you want to move down to the road, or no, I think you can move up that way and go around there. Because it'll be more useful in the event that this is still a danger. Yeah, that did exactly what I thought it would. And yep, you're down to 1 point, so I may lose that next turn if I don't manage to destroy this hoverbug. Since I moved this up there, I may as well use it. Oh, and that got the winning shot, which means that these hoverbugs can start to aim for this constructor. I might lose that hoverbug next turn. And there is nothing on the field that can threaten this at the moment, because there's a lot of distance for that one. If they decide to start sending these out of the victory points, which I don't think they will, but if they do, they've both got a long way to. That one's got a big wall of my units to get up there, and the one to the east has got a long way to go. So I think I can safely leave this mining station to its own defences and maybe move this hoverbug there. Now this is probably going to move that way, but it may move up there, which will not be helpful because I think it gets defence points. And this constructor can move over there. My plan being to repair this to full strength. Although that will cost 16 points. So if I'm planning to do that, I must not build anything in the intervening turns. And it may not be worth repairing that now, because I've got a feeling that nothing's going to come near it for the rest of the battle. Right, and then I've got these guys who haven't moved. I think it's time to start sending these on an attack mission. Okay, that combat droid already moved. Yeah, I think this one can move out of there now. And I'll leave these 3 there, but I don't think I've got reason to. I don't think he's got any more resource points to send things against me. You know, to build new things. So I think all that the enemy now is these 3 units, and that's all it's going to be. And so far as I remember, from when I wrote this, they don't abandon victory positions. That's interesting. I didn't expect that. I've got 14 points, which isn't quite enough to repair this, but I will. No, I'm not going to build anything. Cancel. I'm going to move that there. If you think I ought to correct that and move the default, I thought about that at the time that I discovered this problem. And I thought, no, because you can cancel a build if you accidentally select build. But if you move accidentally, you've lost those movement points if you move when you expected to build. So I'm leaving that as build as the default. When you select a constructed unit and go to the square next to it, the default action is still going to be build. Right. I think what's going to happen here is this will move down there and be the first unit to attack that. Yep, you've got points. Oh, I had a damaged one here, didn't I? I'm not going to repair it this turn. So I'm going to move it there, ready for repair in the near future. You can move down there, and that's that destroyed. That was good. Now, the combat droid has more hit points than the hoverbugs. So I'll send the combat droid down first. You can hit, the return fire reduces you to 2. So that might be a signal for that to retreat if it survives next turn. And these can head down there. You next turn might have enough resources to repair that and that. Let me work this out. It should have 18 resources next turn from the 2 mining stations. And no, that's not enough to repair both of those units. So let's not worry about that. Remind me, how many points does he say? He's got 1 hit point left, so I'm not going to risk bringing it back into the battle. Let's finish that. Now the good thing is, oh good, there's no return fire from that unit. Now it's fired this turn, which means it doesn't have movement points left in order to return fire, so you can stay here and do this. You can move there and do this. It's very tempting for me now to abandon the idea of repairing anything for the moment, and instead okay, I was considering moving this down here to build a new mining station, because we may have enough points by the time it gets down there. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's move this down there. That takes all its 4 movement points to move onto that ridge, because things are not good on the snow. And what I'm going to do now, whoops, Can't repair that unit because I've just used up all my movement points. What I actually intended to do was select it. Right, that's going to stay there. I'll move all of the healthy units forward. Oh, excuse me, forward. I may not attack right away. You're not healthy, so I've only got one healthy hoverbug. One of the unhealthy hoverbugs can stay in there. Have you run out? You don't have any movement points, right? Okay, you have movement points, and I think what I'm going to do is move there. Right, what's it you do? You just moved on to there. That's right, you're going down there. If I were intelligent, I would have... No, I'm not creating anything. I would have moved this. Is this going to be intelligent if I just tell it to move all the way down there? Yeah, this is going to get there a lot quicker. Because it moves 4 spaces along the road, so the next turn it's going to be right there and able to build a mining base. It's not going to have the resources to build a mining base for about 4 turns, so it was a false economy, but it does mean it frees this unit, this constructor, to move forward here, because one strategy I can have is if I gather units around this to destroy this, if I've got a constructor behind them, it can just repair whatever needs repair right there and then. Things don't have to return to the back to repair if the constructor's right there. So that's fine. You probably are going to wait. So I've not got that many units to send to the front at the moment. Although I will do so, having just said that I'm going to repair units at the front. I'm going to keep these just out of reach of that until the repair unit gets there. So you can actually move forward, because it's going to be a while before I have the points to repair these things. And you've moved. So that's fine. I think everything's... Oh, I've still got all this lot at the back, and there's absolutely no reason to keep all of this lot at the back now. So let's move this over there. It's probably easier to go over this bridge than to go around it with those units. So yeah, that's everything moved, I believe. Because the last thing I want is to send a couple of units against this and have RNG allow the computer to destroy both of the units, and then I've got a rebuilding to go and do. So next thing I do is I move you out of here. In fact, no, let's bring this lot to the front now. Then this should head towards there. I only got 2 moves because, yeah, it cost me 1 to move there, 2 to move there, and I've only got 1 movement point left. Let's move these straight forward now. These 2 units can go around the ridge because it's probably quicker for them to go around the ridge. Send these this way. You 2 go on the ridge. This goes there. If it wasn't for that in the way, in the ridge, and there only been 2 spaces there, this lot could have gone in formation all the way. Right, those lot have moved. This wants to move. So it's going to be 26 points next turn, 30 points a turn after, 34 points a turn after that. So 3 turns, I can get myself another mining station. Having 3 mining stations means I'll have a good amount of resources coming in, and I can repair, I think, 2 units every 3 turns. Not quite 1 unit a turn, that would need 8 points. But 6 points is well, 3 units every 4 turns, which is quite reasonable. So let's finish the turn. I should have moved this out. Yeah, I'll move that out now. These can go into formation for now, but they're not going to stay in formation like that. I think what I'm going to do is move the combat droids out in front. Possibly. I may reconsider. I may just lack the patience to wait for all the combat droids to get there. Yeah, this has to be behind. Right, this can't build this turn or next turn, it's going to be the turn after. Done turn. Right, this can stay there for now. This is an undamaged combat droid, so this can move there for the moment. This can go there. Right, so I've got four hovels in total, 1 of which needs repair. I think 3 of which need repair. I'm looking at the wrong stat. Yeah, 3 of them need repair. Right, did I move you this turn? No, I did not, so you can move forwards. I need to resist the temptation to start attacking that. Oh, did I forget to move these? Yes, I did. I've got to resist the temptation to attack this before I've got enough healthy units at the front to make a good impact. I realise what this should do, because we have no chance of building this turn. I didn't select this, did I? There we go. Move this over there. Then it will build next turn and then be slightly closer to all this lot here. So end of done turn. I wish I'd standardise those menu options across my games, because when I move from one game to another, I do get confused, right? You move back 1. You move there. You move forward 1. This can move back 1 because it's going to be behind, I think. Who is it that wants repair? It's you. And you two, but they can wait. And let's move these out slightly. We'll return them to formation when the time comes. Right, you can finally build this. So I've got 3 mining stations back now. That's going to produce 6 points a turn. So next turn I can repair 2 units. Yeah, I miscounted, because it doesn't cost 8 points to repair a unit, it costs 4 points to repair a unit. So I can repair 2 Sorry, 3 units every 2 turns. What else was I going to do? This, yeah, so this can't repair this turn. Did I move everything back here? Yes, I did. So, done turn, yes. Now, it's not the turn to start attacking, or is it? No. It's the turn to start repairing. Do I have an injured one of these? I could have sworn I had an injured one of these. Oh, they're both down here. Or it's down here, right? I have one injured combat droid. So what I'm going to do is now I shall move these back there. Then I'll go, you repair that and repair that. This is completely healthy, so this should move to the front. You're healthy, so you should move out of the way. You should move around there. And that moves over this terrain without any obstruction, because they hover over these rocks. It's only things like tanks and the bigger units that get caught on those. I think ground rovers do as well. Although we don't have ground rovers in this, we have snowmobiles, which are more or less equivalent. Right, you can just move closer to the action. Right, everybody's moved, and next turn is when it kicks off. Oh, excuse me. Right, so I've got 3 healthy combat droids, 4 healthy combat droids within easy range of this. Now it's going to fire back on its first turn because it's just been sitting there. That's expected, but we can get another hit on it from that one, another hit on it from this one, another hit on it from this one, and then the hoverbug can hit it, but the hoverbug might have to be to hasty retreat. This hoverbug can go around there to replace the hoverbug that's going to retreat next turn if it survives. And this can repair that hoverbug. So this hoverbug can go around this way. This wants repair, so this can go up there, ready to be repaired next turn. This does not want repair, so this can go up there. Oh, combat droids do get caught up in these rocks. Although I think that doesn't count in first landing. I'm sure I made the combat droids able to go over most ground without slowing down. But in this snowy landscape, the rocks are obstacles. Now, do I want to send it up there? No. That's not going to benefit it at all. You, though, have no reason not to be at the front. And this one has 2 points left, which means it can't repair. So what it's going to do instead is move. And this is also going to move. Done turn. I think this battle is going to be over, hopefully, next turn. Revolt is ready. Okay, you did destroy that. But that's fine, because we can move these down there like this. It can no longer return fire like it did. And there we go, I've won. Well done, Commander. You dealt Avuscorp a severe blow and neutralised them for the time being. Our informants tell us that they have no more units on the planet at this time, and once they have more units ready, Sanus will be complete, fully operational and well defended. Our survey units are now penetrating further into the ice caps to find more crystal nodes, and must establish ourselves across the polar region before our Avuscorp strike again. Time is of the essence. Right, so there's a couple of things that tells us. One is that the next battle is not going to be here. Well, that's one thing I didn't point out and didn't actually really notice, although it was a deliberate thing I did when I made this campaign, is that the first two battles have taken place on the first map because they both had this ridge here. They both had these crystal nodes, these 4 crystal nodes in this position. But what happened was between the first battle and the second, this infrastructure was built up. So, according to the story, we've now got time to complete and reinforce this base here. So, Avuscorp won't be coming back here, but may well strike somewhere else. So yeah, that's the second thing, is that they're not going to be here. So I did that. I did, like in a lot of locations, I did 2 separate battles in the same location, but between one battle and the next, there will be some infrastructure that appeared. So yeah, that's that done. So contrary to what I said before, I'm not going to have an intermission and do some recompilation, because this is entertaining enough, even with the bug that that it's not building things. This I'll just fight the third scenario here. Let's just see what's going on. Yeah, again, they've not got a mining base ready, and because of that bug, they're not going to build one. But I need to be organised because they have an awful lot of units. There are no victory positions, so they're not going to try and secure the crystal nodes. I've got 3 of the aforementioned snowmobiles, which are reasonably strong. Anyway, I'll read the thing. Greetings, Commander. Our survey units identified a number of mineral deposits in and around the Ancilias crater, and we've begun to establish mining stations in the area. I think there's only one, isn't there? Yeah. I suppose that's a beginning. But Avuscorp are back, and look poised to move into the crater and take it from us. The board has requested that you eradicate the enemy units in the area to allow us to build up our infrastructure unmolested. If you can establish more mining stations, their resources will benefit you in the short term. So, yeah, we might be able to establish, I'd say, 1 mining base, possibly 2, depending on how many resources we have, because they have, they've got hoverbugs. I think what we need to do is preserve that 1 mining station we've got and build up the forces so that we can hold them off, especially these hoverbugs. So let's give this a go. Report is ready, so they're already moving into the area. And the ridge of the crater provides no obstacle to the hoverbugs. And yeah, once again, it didn't do what it should have done and built itself a mining station. And it wouldn't have been able to build a mining station this turn, but what it could have done is move forward 1 step and then build. So I'll have to see what bug I've introduced to stop that from happening. Right, so I can see that they're fast approaching this. So I think I should aim. Oh, I've got 26 resources. That's not enough to establish another thing. So I think I should start by using the initial resources to create new units. And I cannot build more snowmobiles at the moment, so I need to make sure I don't get reckless with the ones I've got. I think the first thing I should build is these guys. Oops. Combat droids. If I remember rightly, they get quite a bit of protection from the ridge. Well, 1 point of protection from the ridge. I'm not sure if hoverbugs do. And hoverbugs also have fewer hit points. So I think the best units to protect this are combat drones. And I can build 1 next turn. The next thing I need to do is send... Ooh. Oh yes, that could get onto the ridge. That was fine. Do these get protection? Yes. It might be possible that everything gets protection. Right, I'll make sure this goes in the correct routes. Yeah, I think the first thing I need to do is send 2 of them down here. The idea being to deal with these, because these are going to take longer to get across the map. Don't turn, yes. Right, so report finished, so this can attack those already. And I'm going to give it a go because I think it unlikely, they've got 2 armor, so I think it unlikely that 2 hoverbugs are going to finish this unit off. This cannot get as far, it can't get within attack range. And even if it could move there, it wouldn't be able to shoot this turn. Let's see what these are doing. I think these are just slowly approaching over there. So I think what I'll do is I'll send this that way. I think it should get that far. Yes. Yeah, these slow the snowmobiles down. I'm going to move this combat droid there for now. In fact, I'll move this combat droid there, and then yeah, I'll use this one to build a combat droid there. While this, I don't think it can get onto the ridge this time. I think I'll send this one over there. And I'll send it in a slightly roundabout way. Yeah, it can't get across there. I think I'll send it over down there and then up, because there's a lot of this stuff to traverse if it comes up the top way. And let me just select it. Okay, the rocks don't actually slow this unit down any more than the snow does. So I maybe could have sent it around, but it would have to go around the top of these units that are in the way. My plan is to send the constructor around there with a view to building another mining base, which will help us repair units a lot more quickly. I think that's a done turn from me. Okay, so I didn't injure that hover bug enough to make it retreat. And I'm glad these units are going down that way. Oh, it did build. I'm glad to see that, even though it's going to prolong this battle, I'm glad to see that it did actually decide to build a mining station. Right, so this will do the job it was intended to do. What are you like? You still got 3 hits out of 4, so I think both of these units... Okay, that unit will fire at that, leaving this one free to fire at that. And this one... Both these actually move fast over the snow, which I suppose makes sense given that they're called snowmobiles. And they've got tracks, even though you probably can't make them out given that they're, about half a dozen pixels. Right, so these, do these stay there? Let me just check. Yeah, that does take all of its movement points to get down onto there. So I think I'll just leave that there. Although having said that, the hover bug is not going to move into that square. The hover bug is most likely to move there. So what I'll do is I'll move this back, move you there, move you there. Now the hover bug could move there, so I shall forestall that by moving that there. Right, the hover bug cannot move next to the mining base this next turn. Right, now I've got to keep an eye on these ones, although I think they're moving across their own. There's also these two as well. So these two are probably going to be busying themselves with these two. Yep, you're still ignoring me and trying to move past. This is one thing that I think is possibly bad in the AI, in that they prioritise units like that, which is kind of good, because if you take that out, then you really hamper my efforts. But at the same time, it's not that good an idea, because if you ignore all the units that are in front of it, like in this case, I'm trying to make sure that this hoverbug never gets there. I'm not going to create with this hoverbug this time. I'm going to move this there, so that I'll do this. Hit it with that. It's possible that now it's taken enough damage to move back. Move that down there, and that's as far as it can move. So the hoverbug now can go there, 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 or it can go there, there and there. So it still can't get next to this mining base. And I will build do I want another defensive unit? Yes, because there's a lot of stuff coming for me. So let's build that there. Right, we've got these two here, so I am going to make a beeline for you first. And I think this unit is wasted up here, so I'm going to send this one forward and start harassing these units. Now this time I'll try and remember that that's the one that I hit, and watch for it in the reports. Good, they're retreating. Oh, that's retreating. So I hit it hard enough that it's going back. And then the constructor moves away from it. Ooh, now it's actually attacking my units. Attack the snowmobile. Rather than the combat droids that are in its way. So that's the one that I hit. I mean, if I really wanted, I could move the snowmobile down here and give that another hit to try and take it out. But I'm more concerned about these that are getting near. So I think what I'll do is I shall move the snowmobile here. Got to remember that it's now generating points. I could even think about moving the snowmobile down there because it's got nothing defending it. But I do think that this has, it doesn't actually have the means to fight back damage. It's got 4 hit points, which is reasonable. So there's a chance that it would damage the snowmobile enough that the snowmobile has to retreat before taking it out, which would be a waste of time. So yeah, I'm not going to send that snowmobile against the enemy mining station right now. For the time being, I will concentrate on either killing this or injuring it to the point where it has to retreat. This unit is doing nothing up there, and I see no immediate threat, so I think this unit should move down here. Right, yeah. I think this is still being held off, because this, I think, targeted this snowmobile to no effect. So I think we can leave that alone now. I think that's either going to retreat or it's going to take another pot shot at this snowmobile. So this snowmobile can attack that, and so can this one. And this snowmobile has already done its move. I cannot build anything this turn or repair anything, but what I can do, if this hasn't moved already, I can move this onto there. And I think this, did this one move? No, but this one is forming a blockage for that. So let's see what happens now. Is it going to retreat that combat droid that I hit? Is it even going to attack me? Because it, oh, I'm waiting for things to happen. Right, that retreated. That retreated. That's nice. The combat droid that I took a pot shot at last turn did not retreat. So either I didn't damage it at all, or I just haven't quite damaged it enough to frighten it away. So I'm going to pull this back and take another hit at that one. These three are also going to take a hit at those. The snowmobile, at least one of these snowmobiles, well, that's slightly damaged now. Well, slightly, it's half damaged. I think this snowmobile that still has 3/4 of its hits left can go chasing after this retreating unit and finish it off. This snowmobile can go there. Now it takes 8 to repair a snowmobile because they cost 16. So I think what I'll do, it's unlikely that this hoverbug will finish it off next turn. So I'll move it closer to this repair unit, and I'll use the last hit point to take a shot at that. I realise now why this is so resilient. I think that these units have get protection from the ridge. Right, you are not doing anything, and you can't hit anything this turn because moving to any of these surrounding square, moving to that or that will use all the movement points up. Moving that and there, or that and there will who the unit was. I think what I'm going to do is take this and move it there. If any of these decide to attack it, it will hit back. And if not, then it can take a hit at them as they go past. Right, you've already moved and done good work. I just have to hope that this hoverbug doesn't get 2 hull attack points worth of damage on that. I can't remember what the chances are, but they're slim that this gets 2 attack points on that because it's a random number between 0 and 2. And then this can stop between 0 and 2 of whatever hit points get inflicted on it. And it's too late in the day to work out the chances, but I'm guessing the chances are something like 1 in 9 that this gets the full 2 attack on that and this gets 0 armor defense. But we'll see. Let's see what happens. Right, that's finally retreating. And my super unit in the middle of it all that everybody seems to be ignoring. Okay, no, they're not all ignoring. If that unit has got enough hit points left, we can take a shot at the retreating unit. Right, it's got 2, so I do want to retreat. But I also take a shot at that. That didn't really do what I wanted. That's still got all of its hit points left, but I think this wants to stay there. And they want to take shots at that. Right, now there's no longer a threat right here with these units, so I think what I do, I can't move that forward yet. So I think what I do is I'll move these forward. And this can move up straight behind them, so that if any of this lot gets close, this is the strategy I said before, we've got a repair unit right up behind them. This one, I'm not confident about sending it all the way up there because this might decide to go up there and take a swipe at it. So I will move it just there. That one can move onto those rocks, but I don't think it can take a swipe. Let me just check, because I may have done something silly. No, we're fine. If that moves there, it takes up both of the 2 hit points. Sorry, both of the 2 movement points it's got. So yeah, that can move there, but it can't then fire. This is retreating. This is nice. What's this got left? This has still got 2 left. This is an odd kind of retreat, but I'm going to go down there and try and hit that. Oh no, that wasn't what I wanted at all. That stopped next to the constructor for repair. Therefore, it had movement points left. Right, Snowmobile is going to begin its retreat, but also take a parting shot at you. This, because I have nothing to protect it now, this is going to move hurriedly back onto the ridge. No, I'm not building anything. I'm going to move hurriedly back onto the ridge. This is going to repair. So now I have a fully repaired snowmobile, which is going to come here. Okay, it came as far as it could. you've retreated, you've done all you can, you've done all you can. But these, I think these guys can move forwards. And this has 2 movement points, but that's not enough to move it onto that ridge. So we'll call that the end of that turn. Right, it's deciding to redeploy things around. Okay, I've lost a snowmobile. And did it repair? Yeah, it repaired the hoverbug, so the hoverbug is back to full strength now. That's not good. That hoverbug is down to back to full strength. You're at 2 hit points. You can retreat, and I'll concentrate on using my armies. Right, you're down, so you can retreat. However, I can get multiple hits on this, and that's dead. Now I can move that. I could move that there, but I think I'm going to leave that where it is. Right, remind me, you're at full strength. You are not. I will not be able to repair for quite a few turns, so I think what I'm going to do is move this down there in readiness to repair these. The combat droids only take 4 to repair, so I can repair those every other turn. Nobody seems to be moving up here, so I think what I'm going to do is no, that's not what I meant. Select. Right, it's going to be a fair while before this can be repaired, so what I'm going to do is move this up there. That was not the correct route. I thought it would have moved there and then there. This. Let me just check something. Select this, so if I selected that, that takes 2 movement points for this to move over. That takes 2. I must have already moved this turn. It must only have had 2 movement points left. So let's just check everybody else. Who can move and do things? I think the answer is no, but oh, the snowmobile can pop out there and take a shaky pot shot at you. But it does leave itself vulnerable. Right, you will want repair very soon. And I expect with all of these units quite close, they're going to try sending some through to get at this. Yeah. They decided to take a pot shot. Oh, goodness me, right. This is... Run away, run away. You attack that, you attack that. That's destroyed that. I think what I shall do is I will not move the constructor nearer to the enemy. I'll retreat this unit. You can repair that, so we've now got a full combat droid. This full combat droid can move, I'd say, right, if I move it here, so I think this, if I move this here, then actually that would be a better idea, because I think what that will do, if it's going to try and hit this, it'll go up that way, and then both of these can hit it if I move that there. If I move this here, then it would do the same by moving that combat droid up there, and then I'd have 3 hits on it, but I do need to pay attention to this slot down here that might be threatening me. So I should move this combat droid down there and leave it there. It's very unlikely that this combat droid will move up there and hit that, and if it did, I would be able to hit back. That would be good. But I don't think it's going to do that. Right, what's this? What state's this in? This can repair something else. Is there anything else to repair? Oh, I've got no points. I can't repair this until I get 8 points saved up. And to be honest, I think that one's now my priority because it's only got 1 hit point left. While nothing's threatening me up here, I'll move that towards there and this down there. If anything comes up suddenly, I can shoot it. Right, this is me done for this turn. This is actually quite a challenge, and it's all because they bothered to build a mining base, and they're now mining the resources for me to mount a proper challenge. Right, you're at 3 out of 4, so I would say you would still be combat worthy, except for the fact. Now, I don't like it being there in that corner. Let's move my mouse pointer out of the way. I don't like it being there in that corner because that's a vulnerable position. But what I think I'll do is I'll move it there so it's not quite as vulnerable. And in order to do this, I'll remove you. Down there and take a hit at that. I will move you. This is risky. Move you there and take a hit at you. No, this was silly. This was silly. I shouldn't have done this at all. You will take a hit at this. That's good. Yeah, that was a big mistake because I was not realizing I didn't have enough units to close this gap. So I'll move you up there and take a hit at that. This cannot get to there in the next turn. So that is helpful. And we're quite near to destroying their one and only constructor. If I can keep these units in good repair. And I'm not sending this into battle. I may use it to hunt down retreating units, but I'm aware I've not taken a single shot at that unit. This unit might retreat, so I could maybe send this down there to hit it, but it would be vulnerable to an attack from that. I'm going to move this up there because if something does break through, although it's very weak, it still fires at full force. Done turn. Yes. I think my priority soon is going to be to get a couple of healthy units down towards the mining base. Right, you spent all of that on building a new unit rather than repairing these. I wonder if neither of these was actually retreating. We'll see. We'll possibly punish them for that. Yeah, that was retreating. This is a dangerous move, but I will go down there. Do I fire at that or do I fire at that? That's the bigger danger at the moment, although they both have equal amounts of firepower. Right, I'll move these down here. I'll just check their strength. So that one's slightly weak, but not a concern. And these two can just stay there. Right, they've got one, at least one healthy one of those, yeah. Okay, both of those were healthy. So I think what I'm going to have to do is to, yeah, take this back, repair, send it. No, that's not what I wanted you to do, but it doesn't really do any harm. Send you forward, just to get in the way. You can now attack this. We can start attacking this, because if we can get rid of this, which we have done, they can no longer repair or build. So all they have now, do I want to occupy the crystal node? Let me just see if it provides a little bit of protection. And I'm fully healthy in this unit, so I think, oh, I can't move into it because it takes more movement points than I've got left. So I think what I'll do now, if I can, is preserve my points. See, all they have is this here. This can be no threat to me. It can't move, it can't build anything. So yeah, it's just all of this, excuse me, all of this against those. This I moved by mistake, otherwise I would have pulled it a bit forward. And I'm not going to risk that snowmobile yet. Right, that's somewhat concerning, although I do have the snowmobile there. Does the snowmobile get protection? It gets a little bit of protection, and it's got 2 armor already. So I do believe I should move this snowmobile there and risk it. Now bear in mind, this unit is not going to retreat anywhere. Because it knows it's got nowhere to retreat to. It's got no unit to retreat to. So I am going to go all out to try and, yeah, do that, attack it. Then these 2 units. Okay, that 1 unit is going to go there and attack it. This can now move there, although it takes all of its action points. I maybe should have moved it across there, but that's fine. And I don't want to risk this, but I can do. No, don't end turn just yet. Oh yeah, end turn, because that unit can't move. That's interesting. Why did they move back there? It may have been to try and grab the crystal nodes. But I will just punish it for doing that. And rather than use damaged snowmobile, I'll use those. This is slightly damaged, but not enough to pull it back from combat. And the constructor can now move up behind these to try repairing things that need it. No, I didn't want to repair that. I wanted to select that. I think these can just hang back. In fact, this can now come forward because it's not in any danger. This is really on a fool's errand up here. I don't think I'm going to get around to building anything up there. Although there's not really much point in bringing it down either, because I'm not going to have enough resources to fix 2 units at once in one turn. I'm never going to build up those resources, I don't think. So I will keep that up there just in case the battle's still going when I get to 32 resource points. But I don't think that's going to happen. You might notice I'm going a bit later than normal. I'd normally have finished 10 minutes ago, but I'll just go to the end of this battle. So they attacked one of my combat droids. Did they attack that one? Oh, they may have done. I didn't pay attention as much as I should have done. Right, that doesn't have the action points left. I've got enough points left to repair a snowmobile, and since none of the combat droids are down to half health, I think that's what I'll do. So this is the one with 1 point left, isn't it? So we'll repair that. And I won't bother using the snowmobiles to take this out. I'll let the combat droids slog that out. I think what I'll do is move this over that way. My plan is get both of the snowmobiles over here surrounding this. Get them to attack that because they can retreat pretty quickly if they get damaged and come back here for repair, whereas a combat droid would take ages. In fact, what I'll do is I've now got a use for this. This can head down there, and it can be on site to repair the combat droids as they have a go at this. So I think everybody's done things that can do things. This is staying there for the time being until I can afford to repair it. Actually, no, it's not. It can now move forward towards this one because this one can repair it. You'll have another shot. Oh, what? Ah, this is the AI actually working as designed. Kind of. It's pulling back because I think it's sensing that there's now a threat to this. Which means I don't think I can afford to move anything. But this is still at full strength. I think what I'll do is I'll move you over there. It may have also been trying to find a way around here to hit. That's another possibility. You can just move forward, but you can't hit. This can stay there. And these... I'm going to keep these close to the constructor. I don't have that many units now to move, so the turns are going quicker. Yeah, this one is definitely sensing the threat back there and moving towards it, so there we go. That's all of its units, all of its attack units are dead. I mean, the mining base can attack me when I get too close. Right, I don't want to spend money on these guys yet, the two that need repair. Especially because, yeah, the worst ones are only 3 points out of 4. I'd rather save the money up to repair these two. Right, I'll just move these down there. And I just have to wait 2 turns. Right, everybody here's moved, so done. Right, let's move these over that way. I'll keep that up there because I may have a chance to do that repair. And then, yeah, next turn I'll have the resources to repair that. There we are. Now these 2 units should have the, let me just check this. That takes 2 movement points, not 4. That's good. So these 2 can go there. That can go there and fire at that. And it's still safe from getting destroyed. And then I will send the healthy combat droids down first. No, I'm not building anything. I am moving there and then there. And this can move down there so that when I get enough resource points, which I'm probably not going to get, I can repair these. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to retreat one of these at some point before I get the repair points for it. But that's okay, I can start putting combat droids there, and they're a lot quicker to repair. They only take 4 points. Oh, that's nice, it didn't attack the same unit twice, although this is now down to 2 points. This is down to 3 points. What protection do these get from the ridge? They get 1 point from the ridge. So let's select you. You can attack there. I think what's going to happen with you is you're going to move there out of the way. You're going to move down there. You're going to move down there. Next turn, these 2 can move and hit that. You're going to stay there, and you are going to move there. And next turn, I can repair one of these 2. In fact, you have 2 movement points left, I think. I'll move that there, but I've got a funny idea I won't end up repairing it. See what happens this turn. There's only 1 unit that you can hit out at, and that's that one. Let's see if that had any effect. Yes, it did. So this... Run away! You 2 go down here. I notice these are not quite close enough to do proper repairs. Right, we'll have this repairing that, allowing that to move there, so that can hit at it next turn, and this can just move 1 step closer while still being in range of both of these. The problem with having only 1 mining station is that this mining station here yeah, it's done quite a bit of damage to that. Oh, excuse me. So I can get into a state where I have to withdraw from it. But I destroyed it first. Yeah, if it had started to reduce all of my combat droids to like 2 hit points, then, and if I didn't have stuff in decent repair, I would have had to pull away and then wait ages to repair things. So, nice work, Commander. Avuscorp have failed to take the Ancilius crater from us. Sorry, they've failed to take Ancilius from us. And we're free to build up our infrastructure there. We now know we cannot take security for granted, as Avuscorp have starships in the system and are perfectly capable of sending down more units to give us trouble. So the board have asked that you remain in the area till the Ancilius mining installation has been built up and can fend for itself. We'll be back in touch with further orders. I'm going to take a look at the next battle, but I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to end stream once I've had a look at the next battle. It's just interesting to see, especially because it's been long enough that I've forgotten. It's interesting to see. It's going to be this crater, but with infrastructure there. That's what I'm thinking. It'd be nice to see that. Yeah, there we go. Right, so the computer's taking its first turn. So this first crater, although we managed to bulldoze some of it and build a road through so that we can get to the interior. So what do we have? We're now starting to see air fighters, and they are brittle, but while they exist, they're lethal, because they can fire from 2 squares away. The actual attack strength is no better than the other units we've been playing with so far, but they can hit from a safe distance. What have we got? We've got 1 constructor and 3 what are they called? Snowmobiles. Oh, I'll actually read the thing because it might tell us. Good morning, Commander. As you can see, the Ancilius crater installation is progressing well. But there is a problem. Avuscorp have arrived with quite a strong force of units to try to destroy our mining stations there. We need you to secure at least 3 crystal nodes inside the crater proper. If we can keep resource production up, then that will be enough to keep our hold on Ancilius. If you can destroy the Avuscorp force in the process, so much the better. That's the way these battles usually go. And as you can see, we've got 3 mining stations, but one of them is not one of the victory points. So we need to secure that 3rd node there. And that's all we need to do, is turn 3 of these, all 3 of these victory positions with the little balls on, turn all 3 of them white. So in theory, and this is not going to happen, but in theory, we could use these snowmobiles. They can move 4 per turn on a road, as well as on snow. We could send one of these in how many turns? Let me count, because it's not going to take that long. It's going to be 3 or 4 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1 turn. 2, 3. A second turn. 1, 2. And it won't be able to get in there on the 3rd turn, I don't think. In fact, I'm not even sure now if those units can occupy a crystal node. So I'm not even sure we could make a dash for that and just occupy it. I think what we've got to do is hold off the attacking force, get rid of those jets as soon as we can. And the hoverbugs are quite fast moving as well. So we need to hold off this lot, try and stop them destroying both of these, or either of these, mining stations. I'm not sure that's going to be possible. I think the way this battle will go is that we'll have to keep 1 mining station protected in addition to the one back here. Maybe let the other one get sacrificed while we battle all this lot. And then in the meantime, I don't know what we get. We actually get 6 points per turn at the start. So we can build up, if we can build the fighters, that will be very good because we'll have a fast unit that can fire from a distance. And I'm much better at taking advantage of that than my AI is. So yeah, that's how it's going to go next time. I think, assuming that I stream next Sunday, this is what we'll do, because we're now potentially halfway through this campaign. These campaigns generally are between 6 and 10 battles. If you win every battle, then you get through it in 6 battles. If there's a bit of to and fro, it takes a bit longer. So I won't exit this yet, actually. I'll leave it on there. And I will, if anyone who's still here hangs around, I will send the love on to somebody else. So I'll put us on the stream ending screen and see who else is live. Thank you very much, and I shall hopefully see you next Sunday. Goodbye.